Hello and welcome to the Weirder Hings podcast. I'm Michael McCann.
That's quite perky.
Yeah.
I quite like it.
Yeah.
It's sort of going up the way inflection. Cheery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better than good evening.
It's It's like you're a Dundee weatherman or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's much better. But you're listening to Weirder Hings, and I'm Michael McCann. Who are you?
Oh, now that's the question, isn't it? Today, Michael, I am Innis Smith.
And today's Sunday.
We're recording on a Sunday, but it might not be Sunday where you are.
No, it'll probably be Friday.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, and this is the Weird Hings podcast.
Yeah, you're listening to us on the UK Paranormal Radio Network.
And you can also find us on Twitter, which is Weirder Podcast. That's the handle. Is that what you call it?
Yes. Yes,
yeah?
it is, yeah. Well, that's what we are.
Yeah.
We're also on Facebook.
That's true. That's Weirder Hings Podcast. That's the Facebook page.
But what is the email address?
The email address is Weirder Things. Oh, how it trips up people. Weirder Things Podcast at gmail.com. That's Weirder Things, not Hings, but Things this time. Podcast at gmail.com.
We've just left it now. It's became a thing. Well, we've just left it. I was going to change it, but I'm just leaving it now.
It's become a hing.
It's become a hing.
A proper hing.
Yeah. So welcome to episode 23. Is this 23? 23. Episode 23.
Oh, it's mystic. People write in with mystic significance.
You used to do a wee segment on the significance of numbers.
Did
so
I?
Yeah. So what is 23?
Did I say that?
Yeah. You used to do it. You done one on 7. You done one on 13. You done one on another one.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's just 23. Number 23 is the writer William Burroughs. That crazy hip cat, the beatnik writer. It wasn't really a beatnik. He was kind of at the same time, basically.
Yeah.
Sort of Naked Lunch, that kind of guy. But he was kind of interested with the number 23. He thought it signified death. So he kind of started to pay attention to newspapers and every, So yeah, but apparently it's one of these numbers. There are certain numbers that appear a lot in nature. And 23 is one of them. I think 23 is the number of, is it chromosomes or something? There's something about, not chromosomes, but there's a DNA. There's something about...
Yeah,
something
23 strands or something.
Something like that, yeah, exactly. So there's, so there's that, so yeah, so the idea of 23 seems to be associated with beginnings and endings. Life and death, that kind of thing. That's the notion. So it has that kind of significance.
You're a fountain of knowledge.
Well, a toilet of knowledge. Where it just one of those toilets that hasn't been flushed for years because it's in a creepy old cottage that's been in the market.
Yeah.
And maybe
was it formerly owned by Aleister Crowley?
Well, that is in the news, isn't it?
That is actually in the news.
Crowley,
sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
I was thinking Crowley from the book. With they just made the TV show. With David Tennant and the other fella.
Do they pronounce it Crowley?
Well, his name's not Aleister Crowley. He's supposed to be. He's the demon.
Yeah,
Crowley.
But do they pronounce it like Crowley?
Yeah.
Because Aleister Crowley wrote a little poem to ensure that people didn't get it right. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. He said something like, people most foully call me Aleister Crowley, but really my name's Crowley because I'm so holy, or something like that.
Right, okay.
Something like that.
He sounds like a smashing fella.
He was.
I'd love to have a pint with him.
Oh yes, a pint. Yeah, a pint of drugs.
Yeah, we have some tweets directed in our direction.
So the reason, just to round that up, because people will wonder. That was a sneaky little paranormal news headline because.
Oh yeah, sorry.
because his home, which is basically or where he used to live, his little Highland estate next to the Loch Ness, basically went on fire. Basically, arsonists. So
very recently, we were talking about it on the podcast a few weeks ago. You wanted to buy it?
Yeah, absolutely. It was on sale for offers over £500,000.
Yeah.
And I just hope that somebody bought it for £777,000,
yeah.
That would have been, or 606. Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah.
Maybe someday.
I think someone did buy it and then it mysteriously went on fire. So if you just bought that, then.
But the thing is, though, I think the people that did buy it though were upset about it.
About buying it?
No, upset that it was arson.
Right, okay. Well, you would be.
Obviously, Michael, we're thinking at it through the perspective of a Glasgow property developer.
Right, that's what we've done.
Don't worry, I
That was a
will bid
mistake.
in this building of international significance, and oh no, it has gone on fire.
Yes.
Oh no, I have built a much bigger multi-storey building.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
exactly,
yes.
yeah.
That's right, there's a Glasgow property developers, that's what they would do. But in this
Yeah.
instance, no, the people that actually bought it apparently were like, oh no, this is terrible. Because I think it was maybe a group of people, or this is half-baked news. This is the definition of half-baked news, me not really knowing. But my understanding is that it was actually bought by a fraternity, a magical fraternity, or a group that wanted to turn.
Oh man, I hope they got insurance.
That wanted to turn Boleskine into like a magical retreat,
Right.
a mystical retreat, basically, to honour his work,
Right.
Crowley's work. So they were obviously really upset that. So maybe it was some crazy evangelical Christian types
Could be.
that set it on fire.
Yeah.
Crowley himself used to say,
Does it not go on fire a few times though?
well, that's why it was that. Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
it was in one piece, and then it went on fire.
Right.
Maybe I think 2011 or something. I can't
Right,
remember.
okay.
But it was not that long ago. It went on
Right.
fire, and then it took ages to get to be put on the market again, and then it was just sold, and they were going to restore it, but now.
I'm guessing it's probably, I don't know how it was the same people.
But it was pretty much gutted though. This is the
Yeah,
thing though.
right,
There wasn't
okay.
that much. There wasn't that much.
First time or the second time?
The first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, this time. So in terms of what there is to set fire,
Yeah.
there wasn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You'd look at before the arsonist set fire to and afterwards and think, what?
What was the point?
Yeah,
It could have been we had some bad weather last week, so it could have been lightning.
Could have been.
Could have been lightning.
Or demons.
Or demons. Yeah.
Demons.
It's the Hellgate.
Yeah.
Right, so we have some tweets directed at us.
Tweets directed at us.
Directed directly at us. Chris Hunt
Hi, Chris Hunt.
asks, do ghosts get sick of being asked the same questions?
Well, it's fun. There's plenty of books written allegedly by ghosts through mediums.
Oh, right.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So there's lots of books out there pretending or
No.
putting in a good argument for this is actually people who are deceased putting across their point
Right,
of view.
okay. Mein Kampf 2.
Mein Kampf too. Yeah, well,
The Reckoning.
And a lot of those books talk about how hard it is to communicate. So, generally what spiritualists would say is the more kind of like trivial, what you might consider trivial, is it's basically all about setting up some kind of proof to the living that the dead are still around. So people might think these details of this information is trite or mundane or rather boring, but it's actually just kind of evidence that's meant to be put forward just to be convincing to that person. So they go, oh my goodness, that is that person. But then it's also just this, if it was really quite hard to communicate from the other world and you managed to get through, you probably would say just things like, oh, I really miss you, but you're going to be fine. It's all right. So have my blessings and move on.
See, I'm thinking more like if it takes a lot of energy for you to communicate, and people, are you there?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, and then it's like,
Yeah.
are you really there though? Oh. It's like,
Yeah.
And then the next group come in and just ask the same questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sausage. Oh,
But the flip side of that, though, is that the communicators on the other side just have to raise their game.
yeah. Yeah,
can't really complain.
So
They have to
got
raise
these
their game.
Ghost hunters and all these people, Zach Baggins and
Yeah.
Yvette Fielding, running about going, "Are you there?" They need to start asking proper questions.
But there's the argument, and I've heard mediums say this, is that the people who are really talented in getting in touch with the other side here now go on to be the talented communicators over there, because
that would make sense,
because that's the
Right,
it's the yeah. So even though somebody might have a really great personality, really strong, really like you think, oh, that person must be mentally like a juggernaut,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if they were like as like psychic as a block of concrete in this life,
Right.
then they would find it really impossible to get in touch, or really quite hard.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Right.
That's how the argument goes. So that's an argument I have heard. I would like to say that I'm not a spiritualist, but I've spent enough time with them to know that's what they would say. How about that?
Yeah. You're speaking from experience, basically, from a position of
hanging about.
Yeah, in those circles.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Pun intended.
So Square Sausage Ninja, cool Twitter handle.
Well done, congratulations.
Asks Greenock Catman.
Yes.
Do you think he would be up for an interview?
Well, this is quite an interesting one though, because years ago, this is going back quite a long time ago. I think in the 1990s, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
There was a little article in the Fortean Times back when it was, I think, a monthly thing, or even maybe every 2 months or something. I think it was maybe even every 2 months. There was a little article about the Greenock Catman, just because it had that folkloric or odd kind of was it this sort of quasi mythological thing? But the thing is, if you actually are from Greenock, and you know Greenock, then the story is no more paranormal than it's just an unfortunate homeless person.
Yeah,
that's it.
Did they not get caught in camera like eating a rat or something?
I think those are just urban legends.
But I think there is a video there.
Well, maybe even, but then that's just like that's just a mentally ill.
Yeah, it's just a mentally ill person just eating a rat.
And it's just like the last thing that paranormal investigators, the last thing that man needs is
turning up, lads.
What was the name of that? Yvette Fielding. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or Bigfoot hunters, or let's go and see like the Catman.
I think he means us, like me interview him.
No, because he's got
a smell.
Well, yeah, but he's obviously just he's a poor soul.
Yeah.
But
he used
to basically live behind, I think, the bus garage.
That's right. Is it McGill's?
Yeah. So what's
that in McGill's is Paisley's?
But I'd be amazed even if he was still alive, because that. He was around basically in the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah, I think he disappeared for a long time.
Right.
And I don't know if he resurfaced.
Well, maybe he's handed it on to his son. Maybe.
God.
Maybe he lives in a nice villa in Gourock.
Yeah.
And commutes to work.
He got it together.
Yeah, and he's passed on the being filthy and eating rats onto his son.
Yeah.
His family business.
Family
business. Yeah.
Rat eating and sons.
Yeah. So I would, if I had a gavel and a wig, I would rule that one known weird, just sad.
Yeah, I would as well.
Yeah.
Because there's a guy who lives...
Although I'm up for doing a podcast, Sadder Hings.
Sadder Hings. Just sad music all the way through it.
Just sad Scottish stuff.
And then he died.
Yeah.
Because the guy...
We'd be good at that, though.
We would
actually. There's a lot of sad stuff in Scotland. It's a lot of misery.
Yeah. It involves whiskey.
Yeah. Can I just tell you one of the saddest things I ever saw?
Oh, right, okay.
Right. Because just for a very brief time, I worked as a sort of social research market researcher for a housing association, and basically interviewing tenants in their own home about all sorts of things. And
please tell me you had a question on there, like ghosts.
No, I didn't even sneak that one in, although I could have.
Yeah, you could have totally snuck that in.
But that would have been unprofessional and unethical of me, Michael.
Well, okay.
Anyway, no, I'm not even saying that this isn't a funny story, and I can see you like a little puppy hoping that this is like lols aplenty.
Oh no, this is going to be grim, right?
This is actually sad, right?
Okay.
This is sad, right? This is sad,
right? But I've got my sad face on.
You've got your sad face on, and it's going to stay on. But anyway, no, it was just the fact that it was this woman undergoing cancer treatment who was the sole carer for her husband with dementia. And I just thought that was the saddest. I just thought, in terms of computation, so you had one compos mentis person physically suffering on the way out, and basically her husband of many years who hung around in the background like a massive toddler.
Right.
You could tell that mentally that's who he was. Like, and I just thought, this is like the saddest thing. And he was me filling in a form asking her about what she thought of the pavements and things like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that was Weirder Hings. Thanks for tuning in. We might not even be back next week.
But I'm just saying, it's so sad. I just thought, oh, that is really
Yeah, it's
sad.
awful. Yeah.
That's sad.
Things like that happen all the time. There's just loads of just awful, terrible things happen.
Awful, sad things. But there you go.
Yeah.
I think it left an impression because I sat there with the full implications of the horror for about 40 minutes doing this interview, thinking,
Jesus,
this is terrible.
Yeah, that's just awful.
This person is in a terrible situation.
Right, let's lighten things up a bit. Actually, do you remember the guy? I think he died recently. He was the cat man. I don't know where it was. He would live up in Skye or something.
Oh yeah, he was like a leopard.
Yeah, leopard guy.
Yeah.
Was it Skye?
It was one of the islands.
Yeah.
So,
he just lived as
a cave or something.
A cave, yeah.
And did he
kill
himself?
No, I think he just died naturally.
Died naturally.
Yeah. It's natural causes. Old age. He was old.
Yeah.
Had his teeth filed and stuff like that to make him look like a leopard or whatever he was supposed to be.
Well, our cats both basically died of kidney disease, so maybe his kidneys got him.
Maybe, yeah.
Because he's this cat man maybe didn't drink enough.
Yeah, feline AIDS or something.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. That's the only cat disease I know.
The only cat disease.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've just put the word feline in front of another disease.
No, feline AIDS is a real thing.
It's a real thing, I'm sure it is. Yeah.
I just thought it was weird that, you know what, we're not going to go down there. The Derek asked, this is a belter question, I really like this question.
Right.
It's not really paranormal related.
Right,
it's more directed at us.
Right, we're trying to be cheery now.
Yeah. What's your favourite black and white horror movie?
Oh. Well, there's Young Frankenstein, which is obviously a comedy,
okay.
a horror comedy, but it's beautifully shot and brilliantly acted, etc. So that's really good. But black and white one, I really like the. They're not really horror,
right?
But I really like the Basil Rathbone Sherlock Holmes one. There's a one called, I think, The Claw or something.
Right.
Basically, but there's a Sherlock Holmes,
right.
the old 1940s ones.
Yeah.
But I'm now getting into it now. I'm now remembering. But there's obviously there's the thing that came from outer space.
Or the thing from another world.
Thing from another world. That's right. So that was the original one. It was basically a giant furious carrot that looks like Frankenstein.
Yeah.
So that's the sort of the original thing. That's a brilliant film.
Was it a robot? They find it nice, and it's a robot.
It's meant to be a vegetable.
Is it?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
It's meant to be a blood-drinking vegetable.
Right.
I
remember seeing it, but...
A carnivorous parsnip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez, oh.
Yeah. So that's... No, it's brilliant. It is actually really good. So
Yeah. I've seen it. Yeah. And then that was the original thing of the Thing.
That was the thing.
Or, as we call it in Scotland, the Hing.
The Hing. See the Hing? Aye, man. But I think, to be honest, having some time to think about it, it would have to be the original, and by far the best, Invasions of the Body Snatchers.
Oh, that's mine.
Yeah.
That's actually mine.
Yeah, again about vegetables from outer space.
Yeah, that is actually
But
I love that.
That's brilliant.
Do you know the first time I saw that? It was I think it was like BBC Two. I was really young. I think it was like 8 or 9, and it was BBC Two, and me and my brother stayed up dead late one night. And it was like one of the last films that BBC Two showed before it shut down, so it was like 2 in the morning or whatever, and that they showed that, and I was just amazed, and I think I've got it on DVD somewhere. But I've got all the old 1950s B movies and DVD. Yeah,
the irony was that there was this subtext to the film was basically paranoia about communists taking over, communism taking over. But the thing is, I think the leading man, I can't remember his name, is it Kevin McCarthy or Kevin something?
Yeah, something like that. Is he himself was basically put on trial by Senator McCarthy. He was one of the people. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he ended up. He was like a leading man and basically didn't get work for years.
Wow.
So the irony was
he
was this iconic 1950s anti-communism paranoia movie.
Yeah.
And he himself was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
I think him and his sister were. If I had advance warning, I would have done the reading up, because I think there's a story. There's a bigger story about him and his sister and how they helped other blacklisted, actors and directors and things like that.
I do not. I think I'm going to watch that tonight when I go home.
I think I've got it on. I've got it in VHS.
Nice. I think I originally had it in VHS, but when I got rid of my videos, I had to transfer everything over to DVD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic.
Plan 9 from Outer Space.
That's
as well,
just for
a good
just
one.
for crazy fun, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Plan 9 from Outer Space is also another good one. The Ed Wood.
Yeah.
The original Fly, pretty good.
That's not black and white though.
Is it not?
No, I don't think so.
I think the original is.
No, what? Yeah, but the one with Vincent Price. That's in colour.
Is it in colour?
It is in colour. I'm sure it's in colour.
What am I thinking? Oh, you know what? I'm thinking the Quartermass Experiment, because the first one's in black and white, and then the second one's colour, and then the third one's colour as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to actually buy the box set of the Quartermass films.
Yeah, but like this sort of the old sort of British. It used to be a very sort of particular kind of that whole kind of psychological element to the kind of the horror. You know? Yeah. Oh, the Midwich Cuckoos. That's really good.
Oh,
that's based on the John Wyndham book about the. I think this, some like meteor or basically, this something weird happens and a village basically goes into deep sleep and they all wake up and then basically all the women are pregnant.
Oh.
And then they give birth to these little albino children with glowing eyes that are all
psychic.
Oh
yeah, I've seen that one. That is amazing.
Yeah, and it's good. It's good. It basically it has a scene of psychic warfare.
Because
kids can read minds.
Yeah.
So basically the hero just is constantly imagining a brick wall in front of him.
Yeah.
To try and keep their psychic tendrils out.
They remade it and gave it a different name. I think Christopher Reeve.
Right.
Is in it?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
And it's heavily influenced on an episode of The Simpsons as well.
Influenced by The Simpsons?
There's a Simpsons
episode
influenced
by that.
Yeah, as well.
Yeah.
It's like the school teacher is buggering the behind the fishmongers or whatever. Yeah, it's quite funny.
The
what
is buggering the fishmonger? What?
The school teacher is buggering the fishmonger behind the old cinema or something like that. It's like because the kids are all supposed to be able to read the adults' minds, and then the adults are like, "How the hell do they know our secrets?"
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Everybody will know the episode I'm talking about.
Simpsons fans, feel free to tweet in and say yes.
Yeah, they'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we don't.
I can't remember the exact.
Can't remember the buggering bit. I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't think they said buggering in The Simpsons. It was something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, we have. So that was some tweets. We have some news, but it's not for me. It's for you.
Is this the moment?
It? Yeah, this is the moment. This is your time to step up and shine. So here's what happened.
Right, so
do you remember when Innis saw the Loch Ness Monster?
This is where it gets fishy, isn't it?
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, so we've done the episode where Innis thinks he saw the Loch Ness Monster. So this week, Innis thought he saw something in the sky.
Yeah.
I'll let you hear of it. So,
right. Do you know
no, I'm no judging, no mocking, nothing. I believe you.
This is the weird thing as well, though, because it does, as Michael has set this up, just also sounds like incredible bullshit, doesn't it? Yeah. So basically, I'll tell you what happened is Monday night. So Monday the 12th of August, leading into Tuesday the 13th of August. That's what happens. When time. Yeah. So I had been through in Edinburgh for the day. I returned by train. I arrived back at my house, and basically I live in a secret location. We're recording this in a top secret location. However,
the pod cave.
Stalkers out there, please note, you might be able to work out where I live by this description. But basically, the way the building is orientated is somewhat helpfully. No windows face south. I have basically the living room and the kitchen have windows that face essentially east. Pretty much east.
Yeah,
slightly to the south of true east, but basically pretty much east. And then the windows in the bedroom and the spare, the library, the study, pretty much face west, right? So basically, and it was dark. It was maybe about 11:30 or something, just catching up in people's random nonsense on Facebook, and then noticing that people were just posting things like, "Oh, it's a really nice one." Ooh, nice what? Oh, that's great. And then noticing that people were actually noticing the meteor, basically this meteor stream, and it's the Perseids, basically.
Yeah,
So it's the Perseid meteor is, and the thing is if you are Scottish, you will sympathise, but most of the time when anybody talks about some amazing astronomical phenomena that can, for phenomenon that can be observed, it's basically, it's just like they used to say in television, except for viewers in Scotland, because it's usually cloudy. We very rarely have clear skies.
Pouring the rain.
Yeah, and we've had really bad weather, raining all the time. But by a delightful coincidence, we actually had clear skies. We had perfectly clear skies.
Yeah. The weather had been really horrendously bad that evening as well.
Yeah.
So,
but it was clear.
It
had cleared, and there wasn't really a cloud in the sky. So that was great. So people were actually looking at the windows and seeing these meteors, these falling stars, shooting stars, going, "Oh, that's nice." So I thought, "Oh, that'd be good. I'll come up and I'll tell Penny that this is happening." So I was downstairs. I walked upstairs, and when I came up here, I looked out and I saw, basically, sort of in the sky, just this light kind of fade out, and I went, "Oh, the shooting stars. Now this is a good night to see shooting stars." And I think I just saw that, and then Penny was like, "Oh, I missed it. Oh, that's so typical." Oh, it's annoying. So then what we did was,
it actually sounded a wee bit like her there.
Yeah, there you go. It was channeling. So what we did is we both stood up, and it's pretty much one side of our wall it's 3 windows, and it's quite a good view. Basically,
I'll say is Innis lives on top of a hill, basically, and you live what are you, 2 up, 3 up?
Well, basically we're pretty much the equivalent of 6 stories up.
Right. Okay.
I think where we are.
Yeah. And you've got a pretty impressive view.
Yeah. So
Glasgow.
So basically, we are looking east, and we can see for people who are Scottish, we can see the television masts at Hart Hill very clearly. We can see we can actually look right across and see Parkhead,
Yeah.
which I believe is a sports venue.
I'm led to believe that.
You're led to believe this is apparently popular in Scotland, and we can also see Hampden as well.
Yes.
We can't see Hampden. We can see that it's sort of that's a national sort of football stadium there, but also music takes place there, and right in front of from the position that we are looking, there's 2 sort of high-rise flats. I wouldn't actually know how tall they are. Maybe 18 stories, 24 stories, something like that. Most, even the really.
Which ones?
Do you want to look?
Hold on, I'm going to go look.
Right, this is a live things. But you'll see they're really obvious. They're basically, if you look out east, you'll see 2 high-rise flats.
That's Mount Florida. So...
Yes, that's Mount Florida. So they're basically right at the end of. So they're right at the end. I know where they are. They're right at the end of Battlefield Road, and I think it's called Cathkin View.
Yep.
Right. So Cathkin View, the big 2 flats, and basically they've got lots of neon fancy lights on the roofs. Okay. So as Michael can attest, so I've actually drawn a little picture.
You have.
I've drawn a little picture. So basically, from just before midnight.
So hold up so I can see it.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to try.
All right. Okay.
I'm going to try and paint this little picture.
What they?
What?
Yeah.
Trees.
All right. Okay.
So basically, there's actually we were in basically a group of sort of 6, 8 story, 10 story flats on a hill, and with lots of trees around us. So we don't have a perfect view to the horizon because we've got these trees in the way.
Yeah.
So basically, saw this light sort of disappear. I thought, oh, there you go. I saw a shooting star. So then what we did is we started to look, because that's a magical thing about shooting stars. Basically, sort of meteorites, asteroids come in clusters. don't they? They come in showers.
So it's an asteroid shower.
Yeah, showers. So basically, if you see one, then you might as well just keep looking in the same space,
and you'll see more.
And you'll hopefully see more in the same space. So what we did is we kept our eyes fixed on the horizon, and then we noticed basically a few hundred feet above the ground, we just saw this green light. So we thought, oh look, there's a meteorite, there's a green light, and it didn't appear from high up in the sky. It was just basically, I don't know what you would say, maybe sort of 300-400 feet in the sky, something like that, not too high. This green light, and the thing is, so the green light, and it was really quite bright. So we're both looking at it, going, "Oh, that's amazing, that's a green light." And then what really took our attention is the green light just turned to red. So it just turned to change colour, and it became a red light. And we're like, "Oh wow, that's amazing! That's what is that?
Yeah.
What is that?" And we're thinking, well, that's because I actually have seen a shooting star before, and I have seen a shooting star that has actually been of greenish tint.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But basically, it's like it basically just sort of fizzled out, like the end of a sparkler when a sparkler goes out.
Yeah.
It just kind of fizzles out and goes, and that's it, disappears. So this thing basically was green, became red, and then it kind of moved. We kind of lost sight of it behind the trees, basically. So we lost it behind the trees, but then it appeared again, and then we could see it, and then that's when it actually started to go, basically in a northern. So from our point of view, it was moving to the left, which is in a northern direction. Yeah. So what we're doing is we're thinking, well, what is it? So as at that point, we got, well, to be honest, I got rather excited, and I opened up the windows as wide as they could go.
Right.
Because to clean them, you can actually open them all the way open.
Oh, right, okay,
So there's no glass between you, and also we've got a couple of little binoculars.
Mm-hmm. I
have to say, neither of them are particularly spectacularly good, but one of them is better than the other, and sorry feminists, I made sure I got the better pair. so I was just or at least, well, that's the thing though, Penny thought the other pair were the better pair, and I just let her think that.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's terrible confession, isn't it? Terrible confession. So and this is relevant, unfortunately. But basically, so we were looking at this, so I'm thinking, so at that point maybe it's a helicopter, but I've not really seen a helicopter with red light.
Yeah.
And the speed it was going, we went quite quick. So it's the kind of thing that, judging, if we're assuming where it is, where these flats are, and the light, so this is basically moving above a part of Glasgow which would be between perhaps Tory Glen, Kings Park, that sort of part.
Okay.
If it was basically the farther away as it could have been over like Rutherglen or further out that way. However, and this is another thing, this is a question about optics, which will become relevant, because at one point I managed to get my better pair of binoculars in focus, and I could actually see the top of the flats, basically in front of Hampden, the Cathkin View flats. I got the top of them properly in focus, and it was then I was lucky enough to actually see the red object in focus, and it was then that I actually went, well, there you go. It's now no longer in my mind a helicopter, because it was the best way to describe it is you get those flat frisbees that are hoop shaped.
Yeah.
So they're perfectly flat, but they've got a hole in the middle.
Yeah.
So it was like that, except it was sort of bright red, sort of neon red rim,
right?
But nothing in the middle. And I've drawn.
Oh, right. Let's see this.
I've drawn what I thought was it. So basically, the middle of it could have been nothing there. It could have been transparent or
like
dark.
A big frisbee.
It could have been just like a massive, big, glowing frisbee with a hole in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Right, hold that up.
But it was
the fact, picture for the listeners.
But the fact it was flat. I want to stress the point that.
There you go.
I want to stress the point that how it looked. It was flat. Because perspective-wise,
when you were looking at it, it was flat.
No, well, it was at an angle, but but because it was at an angle, I could see because of the perspective of it.
Oh, right, okay.
It was definitely flat, and it was why I would believe that there was nothing in the middle, because if there was like a dome, or if it was like a
solid,
if it was a
middle,
flying saucer with a red rim, you know, they'd gone super 80s and gone for like a, hey dude, like we're gonna get
Tron.
we're gonna get like your spaceship totally like neon trimmed, man, with red rims around the side, man. Then it would have. Then the dome would have obscured or partially obscured the far end of the ring.
But you could see the whole ring, so
I could see the whole ring, and I could see the way that perspective-wise it went. So at that point, I'm thinking, well, it's not a helicopter. So
I've got a red hot ring joke, but I'm better than that.
One has to wonder why the red hot ring showed itself to me, the chosen one. Than the mystic ring. But anyway, the weird thing was, obviously, is we can see it going north and south, basically above and around these flats or behind it.
So this thing's moving about.
It is moving about.
Right.
It's going north and it's going south. But we lose sight of it, and then what happens is then a bright light way south. So if you can look at that side, basically.
Right.
It starts off at a similar height,
right,
and keeps getting higher and higher and higher and higher. So moving quite quickly. Now,
I'm looking at it on my phone. That's what I'm looking at. I took a picture so I can zoom in on it.
All right, okay.
I'm not just ignoring you by looking at my phone.
That's
I'm
interesting.
Okay,
that's amazing, right?
That.
Technology, right?
Yeah.
It's basically so that's like, and it could. I had a discussion with Penny. Is basically she says that it might have just been one light. Or and the fact that when I looked at it in my binoculars, it looked like it might have been two lights really close together, because you know your eyes, you know when you're looking at things like that. So it could have been either one or two lights, but this is when the object, because it's a bright yellow white light or two lights really close together.
Right.
That's when it really most closely resembled what might be lights or searchlights in a helicopter or the landing lights of a plane.
Right.
So that's when it most resembled something else.
Yeah,
So the whole thing is about a UFO is you want to rule out anything that it could be, and it's only when you're left with something that it can't be. You think, well, it has to be a UFO instead of an IFO.
Yeah.
You know, even if it could be an IFO, then it probably is, and you have to hold your hand up and go, "I was probably that."
Yeah.
But so this light keeps going up higher and higher and higher and higher, and then and as corny as it may seem, I said to Penny, right, okay, well, to prove that as a UFO, it now has to do something spectacular or incredible and amazing.
Yeah.
It has to either take off at an incredible speed, or just disappear.
Yeah.
And it was at that point it just kind of faded out and disappeared, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then Penny was sent down to get the HD video. This is the thing though, is basically this happened maybe just before midnight until, I remember looking at the time, 11 minutes past midnight. And I just felt it was really, because it kind of, we lost sight of it, it kind of disappeared, because it went different. Sometimes the red light was much stronger, and sometimes it was much weaker. Other times it would move, and it would move behind a tree or behind the flats. Other times, you know what I mean? So, so other times we would kind of lose sight of it because it might move behind something. Other times it would just kind of, it definitely varied in the strength of the light kind of thing. So this was the thing, as we were looking at it. I've lost my thread, I'm afraid. But it was just the weird thing that we were looking at it. Yeah, that was the whole point, that we were trying to keep our eyes on it basically all the time.
Yeah.
So I know everyone's thinking, you take a photograph, you get
It
was so far away that unless you if you had a good enough camera with a good enough lens, you could have got something.
Do you know what? Can I just say something? See, last year, remember we talked about when we were both at IKEA and we saw something, and then the night I thought I saw something. Now, I'm a photographer, so I've got a really good camera with a really good zoom lens on it. And even when you've got, a really good camera with a really good zoom lens, and you zoom in on something, it's still incredibly difficult to get a picture of that thing because it's a tiny wee light more often than not.
Yeah.
And if you're zoomed right in on it, the camera needs to be on a tripod.
Yep.
Because if you're zoomed, you've got a lot of sky to cover. You need to find it. You move the camera slightly, you've lost it. So it's kind of like looking through a telescope. You know, but so it is, even when you've got the best of gear, even then, it's still really hard to get a really amazing picture.
So in terms of of let's just be rational and says, well, let's dial back the crazy UFO enthusiasm. When I looked at it with my good binoculars and saw this hoop shape, when Penny saw it, she saw it sort of change into maybe a light, or she saw it. She said that she thought it might have had a tail. So the most likely thing, considering how it moved and how fast it moved, it could have been in a helicopter. And that would, if there's a helicopter with rotor wings, you know, basically if it had lights, like you know what I mean, like total like Tron. Maybe there's a helicopter, a black helicopter out there that has crazy neon red lights at the end of its rotor blades, so that when it spins,
I don't think
it looks like a red hoop.
I mean, sometimes,
but that's the thing though.
If it's got a red light on top and the rotors are spinning, it reflects onto the rotors that makes it look like a red circle. But you need to be close to a helicopter to see that. You can't see that from really far away.
That's a possibility. So in terms of what it could be, the most rational explanation is it's a helicopter. But I've not, to be honest, because what you're doing is you're looking at something and you're comparing it all the time. You're saying, is it that? Is it that? And I've not seen for a start, when I do see helicopters and I do see lights, is they do have little flashing beacons on them. Right? But I've not seen one with such a strong green light, just green light, and then a strong red light.
Yeah.
And then I've also not seen one with basically, it was really like strong glowing neon red.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
So, you know, in a flat plane. Like a hoop, like a frisbee, like the frisbee people had visited us. You know what I mean?
And it's interesting as well because in that direction, like you said, you can see Hart Hill. That's heading it towards Livingston. It's heading it towards Falkirk and Bonnybridge and all that kind of thing. So it's in that general direction.
But this is the thing, though, is because I could see it in focus when I got the flat in focus. I don't know how close.
Yeah, your perspective was messed up. So
I don't know how close that thing would have to be.
You need to know what size it was to get perspective on it.
But this is the thing, though, is if it was either in line, but because it sometimes disappeared behind the flats, it would have to be behind the flats, right? So in judging its size and how big it was, I would have to say it could be anything from maybe like 20 feet to 40 feet, right?
Right.
In
diameter,
right? Which is a fair size.
Big.
It's a fair size, right?
Yeah.
But if you're talking about it was much further away, it would be massive.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
okay, because it's funny because your story sounds very similar to James Welsh's. Blocks of flats, lights moving around. Yeah. And it was in that direction as well.
And all I would say is I would have thought I was tripping balls.
Really?
If Penny wasn't with me, Penny.
Right.
Saw
Okay.
too.
Yeah. So Penny was there as well.
Penny was there.
The two of you saw it.
Yeah.
And when we know what a helicopter looks like because we live in Glasgow. We have a police helicopter. We have tourist helicopters. We see helicopters pretty much all the time. So we know what helicopters look like.
Yeah. So
we can identify a helicopter pretty easily.
Yeah. I mean, I would have to say, though, it's still possible to misidentify something, right? I just know that you know, even trained observers can still get things wrong, especially if they head down and you know, in like cognitively the wrong track. It can be quite hard to pull back and go, oh, right, that's what it is. And I would say that, especially when it came to the you know, that yellow light. I mean, this is the thing.
So what happened with the yellow light? What did that do?
Well, basically, that just it was this sort of. So there was the green light that first appeared in between the trees, basically, from the perspective. So the further south, right? So basically, and then there was the red light that moved sort of back and forth, north and south, sort of above or behind the high-rise flats, right? And
so it was changing it.
When I saw it in proper focus,
yeah,
that saw it was like a glowing neon flat frisbee, right?
Yeah.
It was basically that position,
right?
And the thing was, it wasn't flat either. It was actually up at a slight angle, so it was like moving like that.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I drew like that.
Yeah,
because that's how I saw it.
Yeah. Helicopters don't do that.
Yeah, well, there you go. It was at an angle.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even like parallel. To the ground.
I mean, helicopters fly at a forward angle, but they don't fly at an opposite angle because that would cause drag.
Well, there you go. That's true.
I mean, it does that.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, if it's going into land, it maybe do that.
Yeah, that's a good point, Michael. Yeah. So there you go. It makes it less likely it was a tronified deluxe helicopter. But yeah, but then the white light. So what I thought was quite interesting is when the white light was there and it was really bright and it was moving up the way. Because it was moving up the way, that makes me think. When I was watching, I was thinking, well, it looks most like the landing lights of a plane when you see a plane coming to land.
Yeah.
But it was going up the way, not down the way.
Was it going like directly up?
It was just going up. Yeah, directly up.
Right, see, so it wasn't going up at an incline.
No,
it was just going directly up.
Directly up.
Yeah, because like planes don't do that.
Right. So it was just going directly up, and I was thinking, okay, this is most so that was the thing that could have been most likely a helicopter or a plane or something. So I mean, and then it just kind of disappeared. But it appeared in the same position of the sky as the very first light that I saw, that I thought was a shooting star. But I realised that it was just a light in the sky that just blinked out.
Right.
And that's what I thought was quite interesting, because I thought, well, it made me realise that actually I've never really seen a shooting star like that. It was just a light that just faded out. It's like a dimmer switch, like a fast dimmer switch. So because of that, it made me reevaluate that earlier sighting and thinking maybe I just watched it and saw the same thing. That's part of the same whatever it was.
Right. What I'll say is this though: where I live, I look in that direction. One of the rooms in my house faces Tory Glen, where the flats used to be, out towards Rutherglen. Yeah.
I'm coming for you.
Now, depending on what time of year it is and stuff like that, the flight path for Glasgow Airport is there. So you do get planes coming over there with the landing lights on. So you do see them.
So this brings.
And you'll be able to see them. You'll know that as well, living here.
This is to bring my point. See when the why I think it's part of the same thing is because when the yellow sort of white one light or two lights really close together appeared to the furthest south thing, is basically the rest of the stuff wasn't happening. So it was basically it's only one thing at a time, which means makes you think it's the same thing, but just different colour, putting a different filter on.
Okay.
Disco mood, basically. But when it was that light, there was actually a plane.
Right, so there was a plane coming in.
There was a plane in the sky coming in, basically from the south, and what they do is they start off from the south and they do a big UE.
Yeah.
So they start off from the south of Glasgow, and then they go over, and then they sort of go over Kilsyth.
Yeah, they do the outskirts of Glasgow.
Yeah, sort of over the north of Glasgow, and so that's basically how they do this sort of they cycle around. So there was a plane in the sky at the same time.
Right.
So I'm thinking, if anybody else, if this was like, just because it's the way I generally view paranormality, and the weird blurred line, the blurred line between objectivity and subjectivity. Yeah. So I'm not even, I'm not one of these people saying I saw that, therefore it was a real thing.
Yeah.
Because I know that the weird stuff's weird, basically. Right. So there is that weird subjective element to some of these things, especially with sort of psychical and paranormal phenomena, right? So I'm not even asserting that definitely existed.
Right.
Maybe Penny and I had a weird shared hallucination.
Yeah.
Maybe I was granted by my space masters an opportunity to see the mothership, and because Penny was in the vicinity of my radiant aura,
Yeah, she just happened
her
to...
vibration was elevated
Yeah.
sufficiently for her chakra eyeball to see it. He made up. Yeah.
That all sounds real. Yeah, I'll go with that.
Sounds
Yeah,
realistic.
yeah.
But you know what I mean? There's that bollocky element to it. But if it was a real thing, right, then there's a good chance that at least dozens of people might have seen that.
Yeah.
Right. And there's also a good chance that the pilots would have seen that.
Yeah.
It would have been underneath them.
Yeah.
And it would have been to their left, basically. If they looked to the left out of their cockpit, they would have seen it.
So what the hell is that?
Yeah.
Because
Whatever.
that's how pilots talk.
Yeah. So it's possible they saw it, but yeah, the weird thing was though is because you'd be pleased to know, Michael, you were the first person I told.
Oh, I'm so honored. I know, 'cause I got a dead excited text message for you. I don't believe this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I was so happy for you.
Yeah.
Welcome to the fold.
But the weird thing was though is I did, because you think about these things, but because it was so intermittent, how about that? It wasn't constant. So it was a constant thing of saying, because we kept losing sight of it and it kept changing. So it was just like I just thought the really important thing was to keep our eyes on it.
Yeah.
And observe. The problem is when it disappeared at 11 minutes past 12. We were hopeful. And I still kept looking.
Yeah. You don't.
Yeah,
Come back.
But it didn't come back.
No. Have you been watching since? Have you been keeping a wee eye out since?
Just been having a wee nosy, just seeing what's going on.
It's at the same time every night.
I did it the next night at the same time. Yeah, because I'm also aware that often these things do that.
Yeah.
But no,
Nothing.
So yeah, really weird, really odd. But nobody's posted anything. I've been searching the internet. What I did find interestingly enough though is if you actually just Google Glasgow UFO, etc., is how many UFO sightings recently have been over Rutherglen, that part of Glasgow. Yeah,
that's where James Welsh's was as well.
Yeah, so it's just like, so what is it about?
Yeah,
it's the part.
What is it about Rutherglen?
Well, I'm quite a big fan of Paul Devereaux's Earthlights theory idea that there's a relation between tectonic stress.
Right.
So basically, if you would examine fault lines, you would
find one running through Rutherglen.
Yeah, but it's not. The interesting thing is what Paul Devereaux was. He's a researcher, and he came across this really interesting correlation. He basically compared three things.
Right.
And what he did is he looked at the British Isles and fault lines on the map.
Right.
And not dead on the fault lines, but basically on either side at sort of almost like a uniform distance. So maybe like about 5, 6 to 10 miles to either side of a fault line, which in itself might be significant. There was a huge cluster of both stone circles,
right,
and UFO sightings.
Oh, right, okay.
So he was basically saying that might be something to the idea that when the Earth grinds against it, creates this sort of piezoelectric. Do you like that fancy word? Piezoelectric effect, generates this electrical field, and mystic druids are aware of it, and that's why they plant their stone circles there. But also it creates these earth lights, these weird.
Yeah. Well, they've been recorded, haven't they? So people have actually seen them. So it's like a ball of electromagnetic light or whatever you want to call it. It's like ectoplasm, but it's like
an earth light. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an earth light. Yeah.
So the only thing I would say though is I did swither over whether or not I wanted to talk about it or tell anyone, just because it is incredible. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, you've already seen the Loch Ness Monster.
I know.
So.
This is the thing, and do you know what the other?
The
other thing as well though is there's that weird kind of like trickster element and also plausible deniability thing. The reason is because with this thing, sort of two reasons. One is I wasn't looking for UFOs. I was looking for shooting stars.
Yeah.
So that's why I was looking into the night sky, and that's why. So I thought that was interesting that it chose. If indeed there is anything anomalous about it, I await. I await the person who's got their pimped, tronified version of a black helicopter.
Yeah.
Who's been flying around,
Neon lights,
treating himself to who's the highest paid footballer in Glasgow. You know, with his private helicopter, with his treating a bevy of blonde lovelies in their fur coats. I'll take you out to the tip at Paul Medee. Show you that big dump there, and then we'll move over Tory Glen.
It's annoying because I was out in one day, so I was coming home roughly around that time, and it was really clear, and I noticed the moon was massive.
Right.
But I went in. I just got out the car, went into the house, and never looked behind me. If I looked behind me, I would have.
I should have texted you, but the thing is, though, the other thing is, you just think, I bet as soon as there's nothing there to see. You know what I mean? Disappears. But yeah, next time, who knows?
Yeah.
But now that I've talked about it, I now await with enthusiasm a Man in Black visit.
Oh right, yeah. Now you spoke about it on this, so we'll both be getting it.
But it's all kind of plausible deniability thing, isn't it? It's just there's something inherently ridiculous about it. So it's the fact that at a time when there's loads of weird stuff in the sky, ripe to be misidentified, that's when it chooses to appear, right?
Well, the thing is, that's when most people are probably looking at the sky because they've got reason to.
Yeah. But also just the fact that, like my Nessie experience, I was hoping to see something else.
Yeah.
And saw that.
Yeah.
So that's a similarity.
That's interesting.
So yeah, it's that kind of.
Yeah, because what I noticed as well was when, like, going through Twitter or whatever, you see people going like, "Oh, we're wrapped up out the back garden looking at the meters," and I saw that quite a few times. So there was people out. Looking at the sky, and then you did get wee comments like the one I sent you with a guy like, "That's a weird looking satellite I saw."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Look at this!"
Yeah.
So people do, when they're looking, they do tend to see stuff and misidentify things.
Yeah.
But no, yours is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I just thought it was the thing that really. I mean, we were like, "Oh, look, there's a green thing," and then it changed to red.
Yeah.
And then it kept moving about. We're like, "Oh, all right. Oh, what is that?"
Yeah, I mean, I would label it a UFO sighting, but I mean, it was of the, first kind. Is that right? Have I got that? Right?
First go. Yes. Professor Heineck's classification of the UFO sighting is as follows: close encounter of the first kind is just a light or an object seen in the sky.
Yeah.
A close encounter of the second kind is the same, but with the addition of some kind of physical evidence, either be it radar tracking or maybe some physical impression in the ground. A close encounter of the third kind is one not just sees the object, but perhaps sees the occupants, assuming they are craft. As for my one, I would have to assume that the central body was indeed invisible, or perhaps they were very good at hanging on, maybe like some kind of circular sunbed contraption, mastered the art of just hanging on.
Suckles on their fingers.
Yes, holding their breath, yes. And then you get to the fourth kind, is you don't just see them, but you have a chat. And then there's the fifth kind in which you get jiggy with it, and
they do get his finger up the bum.
Yes. Well, that's not necessarily consensual. And then the sixth kind is just somebody making stuff up for publicity reasons.
Yeah.
Where else do you go?
So that was Sir Patrick Moore.
Yes.
On the podcast. So that was So yours was probably first kind. Start you off easy. Nothing. You don't want anything too spectacular. Don't want to spoil you.
Well, tell you what, right? It's because now I'm expecting a Man in Black.
Yeah.
Right. Werewolf.
It was Venus. Werewolf. A werewolf will turn up at the door.
Yeah, be a vampire or something.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's how it's gonna work.
Yeah.
But how ridiculous do I sound now?
Not that ridiculous. People see lights in the sky all the time.
Yeah, I know.
And they don't report it though.
Yeah, but do you know what? This is me scarily becoming, moving into the realms of experiencer.
Oh,
You know what I
right,
mean? One of
okay,
those
right,
people
okay,
that,
yeah.
you know, why is it that some people just get to see all these things and a lot of people don't?
Yeah. But, like, you were looking for it, and you live in a place where you have a good view of the sky, so if anybody was going to see anything, you know what I mean, your chances are probably pretty high.
What I do regret, and
If I went, right, I'm going outside to look for a UFO, and I went out and I saw a UFO, and I came back and went, well, I was out UFO watching, and you'll never guess what happened. I saw a UFO, then you'd be like, that was lucky.
some folk do, don't
Yeah.
they? But yeah, my only regret is if it was a bit quicker, I would have liked to have handed the good binoculars to Penny so she could have seen the ring, the red ring as well.
No, you don't really, do you?
Oh, because I saw it.
Alright, okay.
But she only saw it, you know what I mean?
Right, okay.
If she could have seen
Right.
it in as much detail as me.
You need to invest. You need to invest in some...
It was,
Or keep the camera up here.
funnily enough, that was one of my first thoughts.
Yeah.
It's
Spend
like,
a couple of
£100
on a good camera in the off chance.
and no, but just a good pair of binoculars, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Invest in a nice pair of binoculars. Or some recording equipment to record that.
My uncle George is sadly no longer with us. He was a customs officer for many years, and straight after the Second World War, so he was really quite a young man, but basically they were still doing the rounds. But after the Second World War, everyone was mad keen on because it was the German lenses were the best in the world.
Yeah.
So all the like German tank commanders and basically all the officers in the German army or the navy, etc., they all had the best binoculars, and we were really impressed with Uncle George because he used to have this. Customs officers had these like magical Inspector Gadget jackets,
Right.
Because they would be on ships, and they were like this sort of like big black anoraks, right?
Right.
But the fact was, it was not just any old big black anorak, right? It was like this was amazing. It was inflatable, so you just pulled a cord and it became a life jacket
In case you
right?
fell in the
In case you
war.
fell in, it had a light. It had a whistle. It had all these gadgets
Yeah.
to it. It was like really impressive. But the really impressive bit of thing he had is he had a German U-boat commander's binoculars. Oh, they were this sort of blue grey colour, and they were just amazing. Just remember looking at it, just like this, like these are just whoa. You could see. They were just amazing. They were so well made, and they weighed a ton.
Yeah.
They were so heavy, but you could see the clarity.
Yeah.
They were just amazing, and so he managed to get a pair of those after the war, and they're floating about. And I have to say, if you ever get a chance to get your hands on German U-boat commanders binoculars, I'm not even. Do you know what? I've said it, but I'm going to Google because somebody somewhere must have a pair on sale on the internet
eBay.
now, eBay.
Yeah.
But they must be worth thousands of pounds.
Yeah.
Because the fact they've been, I mean, it was a
Try
danger.
that place in stock market.
Yeah, it was a dangerous job, wasn't it? So many of them died.
What,
So
the U-boat commanders?
yeah, so many of these.
scuba divers.
So many of those binoculars must have just gone to the bottom of the sea.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, that was a wee digression there. But yeah, definitely want a pair of German U-boat commander binoculars, or failing that, just a good pair of binoculars.
Yeah.
That's the moral of the story.
Yeah. And some high-tech recording equipment.
Yeah. Is that us? Are we finished?
Well, we are beautifully over the mark here, right?
That's amazing. So there you go. It's your turn. How about getting possessed? Or
I know
something?
I've not had any spooky experiences in a wee while, so yeah, I've not seen any lights in the sky or nothing in a wee while. So any spooks or aliens out there listening to the podcast?
Tell you what did happen though. I did hear this. This is Malcolm was at the sort of UFO conference, the Outer Limits conference, and while he was in this hall, he actually saw a ghost on the balcony.
Really?
Yeah.
When was this recent?
Just that weekend, yeah.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, so it's just bizarrely enough, yeah.
Did he go? Was he on stage when it happened, or was he in?
don't think so.
No, that was when. Look. Alright, okay.
But yeah, so there you go. So it does happen sometimes in the corniest of situations. Paranormal conference, even there, the venue saw a ghost.
There you go. Awesome. Right, so ending that bombshell. So this has been episode 23 of the Weirder Hings podcast.
And we're never doing sadder things again.
And
Sadder
yeah,
things.
that was just...
It was just sad, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was just sad. It just brought everybody down.
Yeah.
Everybody was driving, they were like, oh, yeah, it's a podcast, so da-di-da, oh. Yeah, just put everybody in a downer. Anyway, so thanks for tuning in. I've been Michael McCann.
And you've done it very well.
Thanks.
Nobody else could have done it as good as you. That was good. And I've been Innis Smith. Or have I?
We'll be back at some point. Maybe next week. See you later. Goodbye.
Bye.